We're delighted to welcome into the studio our new mate. He's Paul Sturgess. He's from Loughborough, and he is officially Britain's tallest man. And in case you look at Paul here and you say, oh, whatever, Ruth, just let's see how tall we're talking here.
So I'm 5'7", Paul, and I've got my heels, so I'm probably about 6 foot with my heels.
Yep.
And you are
7'7" and a little bit, yeah.
7'7" and a little bit.
Yeah.
Good.
It's a little bit still important.
Yeah, it counts, yeah.
Paul is
amazing,
7'7", and there we go. And it is a big mantle to carry, being the tallest man in Britain. How do you feel about that, Paul?
I mean, it's nice to have that little bit of notoriety. I'm already in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the world's tallest professional basketball player. So I guess this is like another record for me. Hopefully it opens a few more opportunities for me. Obviously, being the world's tallest basketball player led me to the Harlem Globetrotters and all those kind of opportunities.
I just want to talk about a few of the practicalities here. We've got a pair of your gym shoes that we're talking about. What size are we talking about here?
Size 19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
So how difficult is it for you to get shoes and clothes? And
it's actually, the clothes is not that hard. If I'm in America, they have like a lot of bigger, taller people over there, so I can actually go to some shops and get it off the rack, really. But shoes is quite hard. Obviously, I've got to search on the internet. The team is sponsored by Adidas, so I get sent a lot of stuff from them. So it's not as hard as you would think, but harder than the average person, I guess.
Okay, so that's shoes and clothes. All right, what about other things? What about cars, for instance? I would imagine it's not every car that you would be suited to.
That's the worst thing, really.
Getting a taxi must be horrendous.
I mean, I don't drive here in England because I've not been able to find a driving instructor with a car big enough for me to learn to drive in. So that's obviously one of the big perils I'm going through right now. And obviously, going through doorways and things like that is obviously quite difficult for me. But obviously I take the negatives with the positives, because obviously there's a lot of positives. But obviously driving cars, going through doorways, showers, things like that.
Travelling, because you go all over the world with the Harlem Globetrotters. What about plane seats?
Well, the airlines are always really, really good to me. I get upgraded. I would say 95% of the time I've travelled first class or business class, courtesy of the airlines.
They upgrade you for a bit more room.
Definitely no complaints
What about
there.
when you were a kid then, Paul? Were you an extra tall kid very quickly, or did this happen in your teenage years that you started getting so much taller than them?
I was tall. I was one of the taller people in my class, but I wasn't like overly tall until I was about 15. And then between like 15 and 16 a little bit, I grew a foot in that year, and it was pretty rapid.
And was that ever a problem for you at school? I mean, people often talk if you're a bit different than anybody else, you know, it opens you up to some bullying or name-calling.
To be honest, no. Obviously, I was always surrounded by a good group of friends. My upbringing was always really, really positive. Obviously, I could have shied away and obviously gone negative, and I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I definitely use it as a positive. I was always really, really sporty. So obviously, it was an advantage in some sports, obviously basketball.
I wouldn't argue with you. I have to stay on the court.
But what I think's really good with you is that, I mean, you could so easily be coming on here to talk about, you know, ways in which this works against you, but you seem to be a very positive sort of guy, and you're saying, look, well, this has made me me, and it's given me a lot of opportunities in life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really, really proud of who I am, and obviously the height makes me that. I actually use my height as, to go into like primary schools. I do like a lot of visits in primary schools. Obviously do basketball with the kids, but I do an assembly where I talk about like anti-bullying, healthy eating and things like that. So obviously it's easy for me to use my height to portray like that positive message and obviously be proud of who you are.
Paul, come on over here. I want you to come over to this table here, because what we've done is these are my snacks for the day, laid out here. But basically, accumulatively, if you were in training, how many calories have we got here that would maintain your energy and your power?
I usually aim for about 7,000 calories when I'm on tour, because I mean, obviously we play every day and obviously training a couple of hours a day, so being such a tall guy, I have to maintain, and obviously I want to gain a little bit of weight as well, so obviously we're running every night to playing games, so I have to make sure I'm eating a lot of food, and as you can see...
You're a furnace. You're just burning all of this up.
Burn the calories, yeah.
Could I ask you, right, OK, the sporting career, it looks like it's over, it's come to an end. What about the future? How, then, would you adapt work-wise for the future?
Well, I mean, basketball's still there for me, but right now I'm obviously expanding my horizons a little bit and obviously maybe exploring an idea of going into acting. I joined an agency a couple of weeks ago, and she seems pretty positive
Here
about...
or in America?
Here. And obviously she seems quite positive about some work that's upcoming in America, so fingers crossed that kind of takes off. I mean, there's a niche in the market for tall people, I guess, and
Yes.
I'd be perfect to fill that void, I
Wouldn't
guess.
you just?
You would be just an absolute pleasure meeting you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you
very
very
much
much.
indeed. That is Paul
Great to meet
Sturgess.
you.
He is, and this may not come as much of a surprise to you, the tallest man in Britain, and that is official.